So my first review on YouTube that I wanted to do was not supposed to be Wonder Woman 1984, but it is what we got, so let's roll with it. I'm sure you have heard all kind of receptions and what people are saying about it and what kind of a film it is. It seems like Wonder Woman 1984 had quite a roller coaster ride because, at first it was like up in the 80s in the Rotten Tomatoes, and since it got released on Christmas Day, I guess, and since then this film has just plummeted. I think the reception has drastically changed, and a lot of people are talking about a lot of things on Twitter. And yeah, I have seen almost all kind of receptions. I have seen other people's reviews. I have read reviews on IndieWire and Wikipedia and everywhere. So I'm not going to say this is quite an unbiased review. I want to take all of those in account and then want to talk about what kind of a film this is. Firstly, I think this is a weird film because I don't know what kind of thing was Patty Jenkins going for, because I get it, it's a 1984 film, so it's a 1980s nostalgia trip for her, and I think since then, the past 2010s to 2020, it has been about the whole 80s nostalgia with Stranger Things and everything like that. So I get it, I get where the nostalgia comes from, but what I want to say is that we are not entirely sure about what Patty Jenkins tries to convince us or what tries to say with her film. I get it. It's a film with a lot on its mind, and there's been a lot of things that is going on. But one thing I can say for sure, she didn't want it to be a Wonder Woman 1. She wanted it to be a whole different kind of film, and I think she succeeded in it. There's a lot of interesting character choices, and I love the villains. Pedro Pascal and Kristen Wiig did a fantastic job, because those villains and the thing we thought of as side characters, they were always with them, and we didn't think of them as an outsider villain. We kind of see how they actually connected and talked with these characters, that is Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. But as time went by, they sort of went in a different direction, and in that way I think that they have very definite arcs, and I like them. And another thing I'd like to say is that this whole 1980s access is sort of on the down low. And by that I mean, if this film came out in like 2010 or 2012, I think it would have a lot of appreciation, a different kind of appreciation. But now people seems to be over the 1980s aesthetic in America, and I think all over the world. So that is a sad part for them. But besides that, I think one thing you can say about this film is that it's not Wonder Woman, which I think is a good thing and a bad thing. Because if you look at it, it's certainly a different take, and there's a lot of different character choices that you did not expect, but they took it, and I think it's absolutely fine. On the other hand, the thing I'd like to say is that they have definite character arcs, and the characters are interesting, and they have different motivations, and we understand them. But again, they have done it with a MacGuffin, and I'm not sure about how it works, but I think it's on the sloppy end. They should have gone about this arc in a different way, but I think this MacGuffin kind of make this film a little repetitive, redundant. But besides than that, I think this film works just fine. And I know this film is literally splitting people in the middle. People either like it or people hate it, and people are saying a lot of things about a lot of things. But I think that it's about expectations. See, if this is something that came out of Zack Snyder's canon, I think a lot of people would appreciate it in a different tone. They would say that, Zack Snyder does this and that, and he has always worked his like way. There's a lot of few Zack Snyder things that I saw here, but then again, Zack Snyder was also the producer, and I think writer credit on Wonder Woman 1, so I didn't know what happened there. But I think Patty Jenkins wanted to go off in a different direction, and I think she achieved it. And in that way, I think this film is quite fun, to be honest. But when you try to peel the layers of this onion and just go about dissecting it, this film does not hold. Then again, how many superheroes does actually hold? So in that regard, I think this film is quite fun to watch if you just do not think too much about it, but because otherwise it can get a lot of muddy. And in that sense, I think you should go for it, because hey, 2020 is ending, and what do you have to do anyway? And I think that it's a fun film for everybody to watch. You don't have to too much think about it, and I give it 2.5 out of 5.